Hi, I'm Becca from Everyday English, and we're going to talk about a little checklist, just some ideas for you to go over to kind of get an idea of what we'll be focusing on in this course and to start thinking about all these different areas. Okay, so when we're preparing, right, the more we feel prepared, the more confident we are, and that's going to help you make a great impression. So we really want to look at these following things to get ready for what might be asked of us during the interview. So start off researching the company. Remember, when we do research, or we can just use the verb to research, right? We're collecting information, right? We're learning about this company. What's their values? What's their mission statements? What activities are they involved in? Do they help the local communities? Um, so this also shows that you are knowledgeable and that you're interested in what the company is. Make sure you understand the job. So this is really dissecting, right? Going through bit by bit that job description. Write out, take notes on it and what their requirements are, what they're looking for. And then you have to go back and say, okay, I have this, and this for this requirement, right? So what you're really doing is seeing how your skills match the job description. When we're interviewing, we want to come up with like 5 things that we really want to share about ourselves. And those 5 things, we want to have some detailed situations that support what we're talking about. So our goal is to really have in our mind what we want the interviewer to know, and then somehow weave all of that information into the interview. And it just depends on how they ask questions or what questions they ask, how you actually give the information. And those things you should want to share about yourself come directly from the job description. You want to practice common questions, right? The first thing we're going to do together is we're going to ace that tell me about yourself question. All right, it's an important one. It's a way to start off on the right foot. Once we're practicing these, not just writing out ideas, not just thinking about them in our heads, but actually talking and saying them aloud, recording yourself saying them and watching the recording. Remember, you can also sign up for one-on-one sessions with me where we can go through all this stuff together. You will be asked behavioral questions, right? How you handled situations. We're going to talk about the STAR method, and that's what you're going to use to make sure that you're giving support in all of your answers. Dress appropriately, right? If it's a professional job, then you need to look professional. And at the end of the interview, usually they ask, do you have any questions? What questions do you have about the company, right? About the position? This shouldn't only be based on salary, right? I think it's a good idea to ask about what success looks like in this role in the next 3 to 6 months, right? What would I do to know that I'm successful? What would you see in my work? You could also ask about maybe professional development opportunities or team bonding, building relationships within departments, how the company does that. We'll talk more about these together in that section. Always review the details, right? Don't mess up and go to the wrong office. Pay attention, check all of your equipment if you're doing things online ahead of time. Body language matters. Smile, right? Sit up straight, make eye contact with people, feel good, right? Stay positive. Don't complain in an interview. You want to give out the vibe that you're a fun person to work with, right? That being with you is not a negative experience, right? So you want to be part of the team, being helpful. These are all good energies to put out there. And no matter what, at the end, you're always going to follow up. And when we follow up with something, we check back in with someone. So it's saying, thank you for taking the time to interview with me, something like that. So these are all the different things that we're going to be reviewing in each module. Now, remember, each module has different lessons. So the prepare module is the longest because that's where we get and we dive deep into how to answer questions and what we want. But they're all important. You can go back and review them whenever you want. And remember, write things down in your notebook so you can go back to them, so you have these notes, and good luck.